All this Polo Cup action is proudly brought to you by Volkswagen Motorsport, Dunlop Tires, and Ferodo, #1 in brakes.
It's 25 years since Polo Cup started. We're here for the 25th anniversary and round 1 of 2021's championship down in Cape Town at Killarney International Raceway. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen this year. We've got about 10 brand new entries for this year, all coming out of karting, all eager to please and eager to get to the front as soon as possible. We're in for an epic battle for the 25th anniversary. There's a couple of new rules thrown in for the good measure as well, and we caught up with Mike Rowe to take us through all the changes for 2021.
It's great to celebrate our 25th anniversary, a great milestone for the series. We haven't changed a lot in the car from a technical point of view. Just always a couple of rule tweaks here and there, but we're really thrilled to have a great grid of cars here in Cape Town and to start the season in the Cape. And yeah, we're looking forward to a great season of motor racing with Polo Cup this year. We've got a lot of new drivers, a lot of youngsters joining us from karting, which is really what the series is all about. It is the platform for the youngsters to come into main circuit racing. So we really hope that they enjoy their stay with us. I think they've all learned some very valuable lessons. So let's see how they go from here.
A former karting champion in your own right, stepping up into Polo Cup for the first time this year, into the 25th anniversary, and into a championship-winning team. Things couldn't go better, Sharp.
I mean, it's an unbelievable team to join. I mean, I also have high expectations from me to do good. But I'll obviously give my best, but it's also a lot of pressure around you. But I mean, Polo Cup in general is a very close class, and I mean, if you make it in the top 6, you're probably a very good driver, I would say.
Another man fresh out of karting championships in South Africa and worldwide as well. You've had some experience, but of course, home circuit advantage. Tate, what's it like to be in Polo Cup?
No, it's amazing, you know, starting karting at age 5, now 14 years of age, and I'm in Polo Cup. And I'm in the top 3 for both races, which feels insane. I'm over the moon right now, but yeah, you know, it's a real privilege to be racing against some of South Africa's best drivers. And I mean, although I've raced against world's best, but these South Africans are really, really good.
And there's just the tip of the iceberg of what's happening with the new drivers. They're now going to get out there and do qualifying. It makes it very difficult in these kind of conditions. We've got a little bit of wind here today, but ambient temperatures are almost perfect. And with the new Dunlop tire rule, all these kids are going to have to learn how to take on those new tires and make them work. Let's go and find out what happened.
With big teams this year and a couple of teams getting additional drivers, they're definitely going to be using the slipstream effect here in Cape Town, particularly down the front straight and the back straight. In the front straight right now with a tailwind big time, so it means you're going to be braking a lot earlier than normal. That's exactly what these cars are trying to do. You can see guys not quite in the same teams even working with each other to try and use that slipstream effect. Down the back straight, of course, it'll be very late braking with the additional wind to slow you down. But at the end of qualifying, Yuri Swart was at the front end and he looked like he was going to be a tough man to beat, having been at the top of the sheets all weekend long so far.
Not a bad way to start the morning. Get out there and put it on pole position, but you've still got a little bit of work to do with another lap in Super Pole.
Yeah, hopefully another 1 minute 26 seconds away from maybe putting on pole again. But no, it's all good. Just cruising today, like I said. Just going to enjoy it. Car feels amazing. And yeah, no, the Oaks are there. They're coming closer and closer, but it's inevitable that, you know, there's always going to be skill in this class. And yeah, no, the car's the most hooked up it's ever been. We really did our efforts to attack it properly this time. So yeah, 1 more lap to do it, and let's see if I can put it together.
Into Super Pole now, the top 6 inverted, the slowest car going out first, that'll be Kwanda Mokoena. He'll be trying to get up as high as he can and see if he can maybe outgun a couple of seasoned campaigners and a couple of newbies as well. Kwanda being one of them, although he has had a couple of races in the Polo Cup. One to watch out for is going to be Tate Bishop. A massive resurgence coming out of Shivi Bassoon as he steps it up as well. Yuri Swart is certainly the man who is on fire right now, and at his home track, he's going to be a tough man to beat. Coming across the line, Leighton Free just not able to get there. He gets the second. Yuri Swart gets the pole. Let's see what's going to happen now with the draw for race 2. Here he gets third place. That's not quite where he wants to be. Second row. Oh, Leighton down onto the third row in fifth place. Harry going to be joining him there. Will the youngest rookie Tate Bishop get pole? He will indeed. Bishop on pole position alongside, no, not Clinton Mercedes. No, that means Clinton Mercedes will be on the second row. And there you go, JP van der Walt. So it's a master and a rookie at the front end. And Yuri Swart gets the 2,500 Rand for the pole position from Dunlop.
Qualifying done, Super Pole done. As you can see, an exciting affair here when it comes to the 25th anniversary. And more excitement to come straight after the break. Welcome back to Killarney International Raceway, round one of the Extreme Festival and round one of the 25th anniversary of Polo Cup. Looking forward to all the action now in race number one. It's going to be a difficult one with Yuri Swart, the local man on pole position after Super Pole this morning. He is certainly going to be a man to beat, and we know how difficult it is to try and overtake here at Killarney. Let's see what happens now as they get out there for the first time in 2021.
A few final preparations to be done on some of the cars, and looking forward to a big race action in race number one. Leighton Free will definitely be looking to try and close things down and outgun Yuri Swart. Great resurgence, as I mentioned earlier on, from Chevy Bassoon. He'll be looking for a good day in the saddle today. As you look at the grid, Yuri Swart and Leighton Free ahead of Bishop, and then you've got JP van der Walt, Bassoon and Quantum Mokoena. Clinton Mercedes up there, a little bit disappointed in his outing, but he'll be looking to improve. His teammate Darby van der Merwe had an amazing start, and a big welcome to our lady driver, Lonica Martins, as we get ready to go now for race one. 5-second board is up. The man runs off the circuit and the lights are about to go off. Leighton with a good start. Looks like Yuri Swart also got off the line nicely. Tate Bishop right there as well. And in the mid-pack, some chopping and changing amongst the Stradale guys and girls. Looks like Lonica Martin trying to come through and looking, pretty dangerous. Just behind the maneuver there from Arnie Nieveling. And there you can see her side by side as they go through turn one, KFM corner with Keegan Campos. Campos just behind Jana van der Westhuizen by the looks of things as they come through there. A couple of cars running wide, but it's a great start, as we said earlier on there, from the Alpine Autohouse man, and that is the man who's been at the top of the sheets all weekend long, Yuri Swart. Looks like, as I said, he's going to be a tough man to beat today. Let's see whether anybody can find something special. We're on board here with King Price's Jaden Else as they go through the kink and looking for a chance now to close things down. And he's getting a little bit of rubbing there from Quantum Mokoena. He's had that on a few occasions, I'm sure, racing in the karts. These two karters now stepping up into full circuit racing. Speaking of full circuit racing, Squadra Corsair in the house there as well. I haven't mentioned those two boys, Nati and Buxy, in for the count this time, and certainly looking like they could be all over it. Jason Kutsia running a little bit wide there. Another karter who's come through there. And look at Chevy Bassoon having to start at the back, but slowly but surely making his way to the front end as quickly as he can. We go on board now with Leighton Free as he heads down towards turn 5. And just before he climbs on the brakes, it's just under the 200k an hour mark in these Polo GTIs. As they come under braking, remember this is the 25th anniversary of the season and the 25th anniversary of Polo in South Africa as well. What a way to start the season. And look at that, all over the place. Looking for opportunities there. Nathan Hammond trying to dive through and find a way past on the Stradale car. It's Trinity Services versus the Stradale team, but at the front end, looks like Yuri's getting away. Yes, he is. Tate Bishop applying a little bit of pressure onto the back end of Leighton Free, and those two would have gone at it in karting as well. Then on the breakers, down into 4th place. Good start there from JP van der Walt as he maintains a top 6. Jason Kutsia now taking on Keegan Campos as he dives onto the inside line there. The young karter probably hasn't gone at it with Keegan Campos. Here we go on board with Campos. Not a lot of room being given there, but Campos forced wide by the young karter, now trying to find a way through, as you can see just ahead there on the other two Stradale cars. Coming up onto the braking point there. Very tight stuff between them as they get onto the brakes. And there's a little dive on the inside. Great start, as I said, from Darby van der Merwe as well. He's in the all-white car. Should have been in universal colours. Hadn't got enough time to actually get that car put into full livery. And that was due to the fact that he actually wasn't going to be racing here this weekend. Decided late on Friday afternoon to jump in and become part and parcel of the National Polo Cups. And there is some national big racing happening in that little mid-pack. Look at that. All over Jana van der Westhuizen, probably with the best seat in the house, as Keegan Campos goes at it with Jason Kutsia. Kutsia trying to dive on his inside. He just saw him in the rearview mirror. He had to tuck in behind Campos, but now Campos looking to close things down on Quantum Mokoena just up the road. Very close stuff between these guys. 2nd, 3rd and 4th also starting to heat up a little bit there. As you can see, Tate Bishop in the angry car looking for a chance now to get up on the inside of that Universal Motorsport machine of Leighton Freeze. As I move on the inside, just in the background there. Lonica Martin's doing a super job in her first outing, and she's fighting for probably a top 15 overall. But when we look at the qualifying, the top 20 cars were split by 1 second. So you can see just how difficult it is to try and get through and make some maneuvers to the front when the cars are so evenly matched and the drivers are so evenly matched at the same time. There's JP making a big dive on the inside of Arnie Neveling. Has he been able to make it stick? And there you go. Good move there as well from Kwanda. Running wide though. It just forced him into a mistake there. Kwanda McQuena diving a little bit too late on the brakes. And that's allowed Charles Visser back up his inside and back to the lead of that little battle. There is the leader out front as we're on board once again with Leighton through turn 2. And now coming towards the kink, you can see he's just going to try a little bit of a maneuver here to close things down on Yuri. Yuri seems to have just got that little gap. And it's a difficult gap to make up here, particularly in Cape Town, and especially when the wind's blowing like it is today. Nathan Hammond looking for a chance now on Jaden Els. Jaden Els shuts the door as they come down into damps. Behind them, Darby van der Merwe. So you've got a man who went really well in the last race of the season at Killarney last year. Nathan Hammond with a big maneuver and a lot of confidence coming into 2021. Jaden Els also having a phenomenal outing there. Darby van der Merwe stepping up from Volkswagen Challenge into Volkswagen Polo. And Kwanda McQuena now in a full season. And he's run wide. He's making mistakes all over the place as Kwanda. That's going to give Keegan Campos a chance to close him down. We're on board here with Campos going up to about 200 k's an hour as they come onto the breakers down in the Cape Town corner. Kwanda McQuena is late on the brakes, but later on the brakes was Keegan. He comes and has a little look and going into Cape Town corner. He snuck on the inside line. Oh, little touch there between the two of them. That's going to be a little bit of a maneuver as they come out of Cape Town corner now across the straight. Another lap completed here. And you can see just how hard they're pushing. Oh, there's a maneuver in the background. Oh, that's Kwanda. Kwanda has been touched by, I think they're by Keegan Campos, the two of them coming together, yes. And Kwanda's trying to catch it. He gets it through. They are avoiding left, right, and centre. And nowhere to go for Damien Hammond. That's a massive one. Damien Hammond with nowhere to go. Looks like Buxy Kamani got involved as well. He just avoided Damien Hammond as he came through and right across in the Trinity Security Services car. But it's Strudado Motorsports man that's on the sideline. Red flags understandably after such a big impact. And fortunately, as you can see, both drivers walking away. A little limp there for Damien Hammond. Let's have a look at the action replay here. We're on board with Keegan Campos as he comes onto the main straightaway looking for an inside line down the wall. Oh, there's not a lot of room there. Oh, and that's a big one. Unfortunately, both drivers okay. Let's go on board now with Leighton Free for the restart. The safety car's pulled into pit lane. It's Linus Stern for the restart. Remember, they don't take up their grip positions and on the rolling start like they would normally. They go Linus Stern until they cross the line, and only when you cross the line can you start to do some overtaking maneuvers. Leighton Free looks like he might have just lost the ground there, and I think Yuri Swart could hang on here for the win. There's Arnie Neveling diving on the inside, looking once again to see if he can move up slightly on Tate Bishop, possibly on JP van der Walt as well. And there you can see starting to move through the field nicely. Jaden Els stepping up properly. Clinton Mercedes with some massive maneuvers to get through the front as well. And Mercedes making a small mistake. As I said that, commentators curse there on the Team Red Racing man. He's under pressure now from Jaden Els, and the King Price Extreme car looking very good at the moment. This young man has certainly got a huge future in Polo Cup racing. Watch out for him as he gets to the front end. He's right there now, just outside the top 6. Behind him, Darby van der Merwe, the rookie, stepping up as well. Tate Bishop and Darby van der Merwe, both of them in their rookie seasons, right at the front and in the mix from the word go. Lonica Martin's putting the pressure onto the back end there. Looks like on the back end of Buxy Kamani. So some big pressure in the front end and whole way through the field, as always in Polo Cup. You can see Jana van der Bersthuizen ahead of Charles Visser. That's interesting. New man for Team Red Racing and Universal Motorsport now being outgunned by the older man. And of course, Jana will be looking to do all the coastal rounds. He won't be doing the full season. Coming onto the brakes once again. This is a maneuver here from Arnie Neveling to try and keep Tate Bishop. Bishop makes a mistake. Doesn't see JP van der Walt coming. He's going to make a couple of those through the season. He'll certainly get better and better as he gets it, but take nothing away from the rookie. Oh, and speaking of rookie, where's Nathan Hammond going? Nathan Hammond off track this time. Onto the grass and onto the grass for a second time, but unfortunately able to get it back onto the black stuff, and he only loses one position by the looks of things. Yes, losing out there to Darby van der Merwe, who just squeezed him as he went wide. Late braking from Jaden as he got through. Darby tries to come around. He's outside, not enough room there. Not through KFM corner, but if he stays on the outside line, he might have the inside for turn 2. Let's see if he's able to make that one stick. They're not going to catch Yuri Swart here. Yuri Swart is doing everything right. He certainly has got a car of note underneath him. And even Leighton Free. Oh, here we go. Tate Bishop getting real there, looking for a chance to squeeze out Clinton Mercedes comes and takes a little bit of a bash there from the rookie driver. But he'll come and give as good as he gets. There's no doubt about that one. He's now side by side with his stablemate there, Darby van der Merwe. Is Van der Merwe going to give him room? No, he's is not. He's going to force Clinton Besaidnout, the man who was second in the championship last year, into maneuver, and he drops back to another position. So Besaidnout making a small mistake there that has cost him big time. 4 positions he's dropped back there. Let's see if he can make a maneuver to come back. Nathan Hammond's going to try and come back with him as well as they get back onto the back straightaway now and haul down there to 200 k's an hour. Jason Kutsia running wide. He's John in front of Estes and looking on the inside, possibly trying to squeeze out Foreign Basha by the looks of things as well. So Foreign Basha, also man we haven't really mentioned, but stepping up from a couple of seasons in the lower categories and now stepping up for an opportunity in Polo Cup. Almost a change up for the lead there. You can see Leighton Free is applying more pressure and a lot more pressure than what has been expected all race weekend long. Oh, down the back straight, that's a huge one. Is that Foreign Basha? Yes, it is. Foreign Basha, unfortunately, with a massive one down the back straight. We didn't quite get exactly what went wrong. Fortunately, he runs away, but that car is stricken in the middle of the circuit. And you can see eventually it got to him. I think the adrenaline allowed him to run away, but he certainly was in a bit of pain by the time he got to the wall. And it looks like that car could be worse for wear as well. That's 2 Stradale Motorsport cars out in the first race. And that means the first race will come to a little bit of an early close. Here's a little replay. Looks like he just got out of shape there. Not quite sure if he got helped out by anybody, but he ended up on the outside wall and then spun right across the track. Very lucky to be avoided by a couple of drivers coming through there. And that brings us to the end of race number 1. Yuri Swart taking the victory there for Alpine Autohaus, ahead of Leighton Free for the Universal Motorsports team, and Arnie Neveling in third place, beating out Tate Bishop, Van der Walt, Besaidnout, Els and Hammond. Let's catch up with your race 1 winner, Yuri Swart.
Yeah, it was actually tougher than I anticipated. Leighton kept me honest. We made 1 or 2 tweaks with the setup, and I think in the wind and the heat now it was against us, but still kept it together. Would have liked to obviously finish the race, but thankfully everyone's okay after all the incidents out there. And yeah, race 2, we're on 3rd on the grid. I think it's going to be a close one, and yeah, like always, Polo Cup, it's never easy. No matter how quick you are in practice, there's always going to be someone right on your tail. So
After an epic fight like that in race number 1, you can only expect more of the same in race number 2 and possibly even better. Join us after the break for that action. Welcome back to Killarney International Raceway. It's round 1 of the 25th anniversary of Polo Cup, and race 2 is on the grid. Let's go and find out who can take the honours now in the second race of the day.
The wind has stayed the entire day, which means we're going to be in for late braking at turn 5 and early braking into turn 1. And as the final preparations happen now for race number 2, are we going to have a little bit more mayhem out on circuit? Are they going to try and keep it as clean as possible? What usually happens in the second race in a Polo Cup series is no holds barred. And with Tate Bishop on pole position, is the young man in his rookie debut going to be able to hole shot and possibly lead this back out for a couple of laps and maybe even take an incredible win on his first time out?
From the back of the field.
5-second board, the man walks across there, and look out for JP Van der Walt off the line as well. He's normally a very good starter. As he lights up those Dunlop tyres, they head down towards turn 1. Great start coming out of Leighton Free. Look out for Clinton Besaidnout, looking for opportunity to go one better than what he did last time and get into that top 6. There's a move from Tate Bishop as he goes defensive, but around the outside, JP Van der Walt with an amazing start. Charles was looking good as well as he came through there, but have a look at the action in the mid-pack. They are side by side, 2 cars going abreast into turn 1 KFM corner, and they just managed to get through there. Darby van der Merwe side by side there with Besaidnout again, and there's going to be more action between them. Look at that as they come into their Leighton Free's tail is just full of his teammates. And right behind them, they start to line up, and Keegan Campos hoping to stay out of trouble this time. Lonica Martin's just ahead of him. It looks like that is Natim Samunga on his left-hand side. It looks like Jana van der Westhuizen might have just got through on him as well as they go down into Damps for the first time. Jaden Else once again at it with Darby van der Merwe. Jason Kutsia in that mix as well. Better start there from Kutsia, slightly higher up than what he was in the first heat. And as they come into the infamous Malmesbury corner, now sponsored by Car Care Clinic, it's Polos that are just left, right and centre as they go through there. I don't know how you get 2 cars side by side through there, but only these guys can do it in Polo Cup. Amazing stuff, and a lot of respect for the amount of talent that's in this category. We're looking at 10 karting champions in this field and multiple SA champions in their own right as well from various other categories. It's a huge field of talent that goes through into turn 5 for the first time. Still side by side. A lot of cars still staying 2 by 2. JP Van der Walt runs wide though. The Platinum Wheels and Universal Motorsport machine runs off the circuit and just able to get back on. About 9th place that he squeezed into there. A little mistake there from JP could be costly. It's dropped him right out of contention for the top 6, that is for sure. As they come down under braking now, Darby van der Merwe on the inside. Jaden Else trying to keep him out. And round the outside, Jason Kutsia. A little tap there between the two of them. Kutsia runs a little bit wide. The Cape Town man just showing the way through there. Here we go on board with Leighton Free for a replay of the lead car. That's JP Van der Walt making that mistake, running on down to the dirt, losing the lead and dropping down to 9th place. You can see they're all just waiting to pounce. With only a second splitting the top 20 drivers in qualifying, you can see just how tight it is. Here we go again. Tamanga taking on the might of Charles Visser. Charles Visser under pressure from Hammond. Oh, it's so good to see that there's such close racing, and it happens all the way through this field. Monica Martin's out on her own, trying to bridge the gap there between the two packs of cars. The second pack of cars now, Keegan Campos trying to get to the front of it, but he's battling today. Jana van der Westhuizen's on his tail. Here comes Baxi Kamani. Chevy Bassoon just not able to bridge that gap at the start of this first one. And now as they come down into the breaking point for Cape Town corner, is there going to be a change off of the lead? Yes, there is. Yuri Swart diving through on his Cape Town counterpart and finding a way through there on Tate Bishop. Bishop hung on for a lap and a half and just wasn't able to beat out the pressure that was coming from Yuri Swart. And this is a tough pressure to have because Yuri Swart, as I said, has been top of the list all weekend long and have been a tough man to beat. Side by side with Team Red Racing just in the background there. As you can see, Darby van der Merwe going at it. He just gets ahead and Jaden Als follows him through. Now on the brakes, it's Clinton Besaidnout looking for second. Oh, and a little touch from Arnie Neveling as well. Arnie Neveling diving on the inside of Tate Bishop, forces him wide. That's going to allow Leighton through and Darby as well by the looks of things. Yes. Oh, a little touch from Arnie to send Tate Bishop just a little off track there. And that line through turn one doesn't quite work out. Doesn't have the same amount of traction for these Dunlop tyres. There's a move for the lead. Leighton had a big look, and Clinton had a big look, I should say. Didn't quite get up the inside, but it was very close. Campos has got to the front of this pack. And look at the return there from the Platinum Wheels man. JP van der Walt had a little bit of issues, but he's managed to just get back to this little pack and looking for a chance now to follow Keegan Campos. As Campos goes at it to try and catch Schalfer, so he's got Hammond on his inside. The Trinity Protection Services car dives, yes, and gets through. Nicely done there from Nathan Hammond. Campos and Hammond going at it, sliding into Malmesbury this time out. Oh, it's so good to see these Polos in full flight. And there's Campos going at it now with Hammond. Hang on a second. Did we have a little deja vu here? Here comes Kamani, and looks like Natim Samanga coming along for the ride as well. We've got 5 cars fighting, and this is just outside the top 15. Incredibly, this is not even for the lead. That's what happens in Polo Cup. Right through the pack, you've got guys and girls that'll go at it just as hard as the guys and girls that go at it at the front. Hammond just later on the brakes there than Campos. Campos trying to avoid contact. He does a little tap going into Cape Town again. And, well, you can see just how tough his day has been. Across the line. Oh, here comes an opportunity. Is this going to be a chance now for Clinton to go around the outside of Yuri? Yuri's late on the brake. Clinton's even better. He drives around the outside of KFM corner. That takes a lot of guts and determination to make it stick. And he's made it stick for now, but they're still side by side coming out. He runs wide onto the dirty stuff. That might just cost him a little bit of traction. He's going to have what it takes now into turn 2. The Cape Town man certainly knows the Cape Town line into turn 2, but so does Besaidnout. And here comes Neveling. Neveling's in there as well. Neveling looking for a chance to squeeze out Yuri, and Yuri is going to just be in for a bit of a wake-up call here because Leighton Free is right there as well. Can you believe it? These are the ex-teammates from last year going at it now with a new man at the front end and the new teammate to this man that were on board with Leighton Free. It's Besaidnout from SWAT. Neveling and Free were on board as they go through at 125 k's an hour through the right-hand damps. Let's have a look at what they do through Malmesbury. So he's not fighting the wheel too much, 120, but 128 on the exit there. Unbelievable stuff here. And this, of course, is the man who took the Rookie of the Year last year. Can he go one better and make it the championship and do exactly what Dario Busi did in 2020? They come down on a braking now. Besaidnout's going defensive, trying to keep out Yuri Swart. Can Swart do anything about Clinton Besaidnout and find a way through? Arnie Neveling's waiting to just do anything that is required to get to the front end. If one of those two at the front make a mistake, and Leighton Free in the same boat. Incredibly, behind Leighton Free, and a mistake there from Free. Yes, a little mistake from Free is allowed. I was about to say Darby van der Merwe through, and van der Merwe now side by side with a lap to go. And Yuri Swart just using that additional push to pass. He kept one for the last lap. Amazing stuff to get through on Clinton Besaidnout. I don't think Besaidnout thought he had one left. He had one left and he was able to get through there. Has Besaidnout got one maybe for the back straight? We'll have to wait and see. Those push to pass mechanisms are such a chess game in this little category, and they really work out well. They can be great and they can also be absolutely soul destroying. That's exactly what Besaidnout is feeling right now as he slots back into second place. Right into the clutches again of Arnie Neveling, Leighton Free and Darby van der Merwe. 5 cars and throw that less than a second over that proverbial blanket, because that's exactly what it is. Leighton Free now looking for opportunity to get through on Arnie Neveling. Can he get the slipstream effect? That's exactly what he needs to try and get you on this last lap. It's going to be very, very tough stuff between him and Arnie Neveling. Neveling is probably the latest of breakers in this entire pack. You're not going to outgun him on the brakes there, that's for sure. And as they come now onto the back straight now for the final time, you can see just how close it is. Arnie Neveling going to have to go defensive on Free. Oh, he's just lost out there in the closing stages. Tate Bishop still looking for a top 6 in his first outing. An amazing run there from the Angry Man. Can he keep it all together for the rest of the season? We're certainly looking like he's a big hope for that team. And the brakes now for Cape Town corner for the last time. Yuri just going defensive, putting the car in the middle of the track. I don't think there's going to be any opportunities here for these guys to change up the positions as they are, unless there's a drag race to the line. Let's see whether Arnie can can get the drive out of Cape Town corner and maybe slot up. No, Mercedes kept him honest. They're going to stay the same here for the top 5. No changes for that top 6 as well, with Tate Bishop just behind them. But what a start to the season. What a start to 25 years of Polo Cup. 2 incredible races here in the Mother City. And can you believe it? We are going into the 25th anniversary of Polo Cup in this country. Amazing stuff expected for 2021. Great stuff there as well from Lonica Martins in her first outing, getting a top 10 finish. And JP van der Walt survived and got up to 12th place after that off-track excursion. There's the official results though. Swart from Besaidnout, Nieuweling and Fourie. Van der Merwe beat out Tate Bishop, Jaden Els, Kutsia and Lonica Martins beating out Charles Visser for your top 10. Let's catch up now with race 2 winner and double on the day for Yuri Swart.
That last race was really something special. I think my best most fun national race I've ever done. Genuinely a race of strategy, a race of slipstream, and a proper dice with some proper drivers in front. Old Tate held his own. It was really good to see what a rookie can do. And in general, we really exceeded our expectations. We expected to do well, but a clean sweep of every session, I'll really take it, man. These don't come often, so I'm just savoring today. Not stressing about tomorrow, not stressing about any championships, just today. Thanks to my dad, the local guys, we all work from down the road here and we prep our car. And this is what it comes to. It's all for them. I'm just the nut behind the wheel, and I'm glad I could at least do it justice.
A full house of points going to Yuri Swart heading into round 2 at Swartkops. Leighton Free right on his tail, tied up there with Arnie Nieuweling, and just behind them Clinton Besaidnout and Tate Bishop.
Well, that's it for round 1 action of the 25th anniversary of Polo Cup. Can you imagine what's going to happen at round number 2? It's at Swartkops. It's the home of the Extreme Festival, and we are in for another great battle in this story that continues here with Volkswagen Motorsport.
All this Polo Cup action was proudly brought to you by Ferodo, #1 in brakes, Dunlop Tyres and Volkswagen Motorsport.